Welcome back to the channel and thank you for watching. I know some of you are fed up with this subject, but some of you want to hear the updates on this subject. So indeed, Amber Heard has now filed a notice of appeal. But don't get too excited because not a lot is going to happen for some time yet. But I thought some of you might be interested in what I think about it so far and just the broad overview as to what's going to happen. So let's start out with a spokesperson's word about Amber Heard's appeal. They say, "We believe the court made errors that prevented a just and fair verdict consistent with the First Amendment. We are therefore appealing the verdict. While we realise today's filing will ignite the Twitter bonfires, there are steps we need to take to ensure both fairness and justice." So just a brief word on what I think about that. You probably know what I think about that by now. I don't think there was anything that prevented just and fair verdict consistent with the First Amendment, and I don't believe that the court made any serious errors that are going to lead to such a conclusion that is going to come near a successful appeal to set aside this verdict. On the other hand, a statement released on behalf of Johnny Depp said quite the reverse, which says that the jury listened to the extensive evidence presented during the 6-week trial and came to a clear and unanimous verdict that the defendant herself defamed Mr. Depp in multiple instances. We remain confident in our case and that this verdict will stand. Now, as I've said before, I'm not an outright Johnny Depp fan. I've had reasons to take an interest in this trial and reasons to talk about the issues underpinning this trial. And had the evidence gone a different way and the jury verdict gone a different way, I would be sitting here with a different view right now. As it happens, that's not the case. The jury came back unanimously upholding what I believed would be the result all the way through the trial. Many people asked me what I thought during the trial, and I said I'm quite confident that it is overwhelmingly in favour of Johnny Depp, having listened to the evidence and the way it was presented. I simply, like many people, clearly believed that the evidence was much more favourable towards Johnny Depp and that people were not going to believe what Amber Heard said. So accordingly, I agree with Depp's statement that I also remain confident that this verdict is going to stand and the appeal is not going to be successful. However, as I said, don't get too excited just yet because the appeal itself is not going to really be for some time. In fact, there's no guarantee as yet that it's actually going to proceed, and I'll tell you why. This initial notice of appeal is simply an administrative step to inform the court, and they have a time limit. And so this notice of appeal attracted a $500 appeal bond to file this, which is more of an administrative and a procedural payment to file this notice, essentially just lodge this notice, this intention of appeal with the court. However, to actually present the arguments for appeal, there's going to be a further 90 days or roughly 3 months before that's going to happen, after which there is another deadline for yet further documents to be filed. So we are really going to be looking by about November before we really see any substantial documents. And of course, there is another issue with the suspension bond. Simply put, in order to actually move forward with this appeal, the judge has ordered interest on top of the judgment amount, which essentially means if Amber wants to move forward with this appeal, instead of allowing Johnny Depp to collect the judgment debt, she must post it as a bond. So if you recall from previously, the judge said if you appeal, it's going to cost you, and that's the 6%. And that's applicable because if she wants to appeal without Johnny Depp collecting the money, then obviously the money attracts interest, because if ultimately the appeal is unsuccessful, then she would have effectively deprived Johnny Depp of the judgment amount for that amount of time, which would obviously attract interest. So after this 3 months, if she wants to actually follow through with this appeal, she's going to have to put up either in cash or an irrevocable letter of credit, which is essentially to show that she can pay this amount with the interest if the appeal is ultimately unsuccessful. And that 6%, by the way, is a yearly or an annual interest. So that's really all the summary is at the moment. She's filed this notice of appeal, which we all expected. I don't expect any appeal to have any merits, and I've not really heard any other lawyers as yet say that they believe there's any strong grounds for appeal. There may be some technical arguments on one thing or another, but ultimately I don't think that is going to be strong enough to come anywhere close to setting aside or overturning this verdict. So that's the short update for now. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe and hit the bell and leave a comment and share it with somebody, because that helps YouTube to grow my channel, and I'm sincerely grateful to you all for doing that. And in the meantime, subscribe and thank you for watching.